Today's video is a watercolor markers tutorial. I'll be showing you 3 different techniques in which I use the same set of markers to create these beautiful watercolor florals. So let's start. You need some water-based markers. I'm using Tombow Dual Brush pens today. You will also need a good quality watercolor paper. I'm using Arches hot press watercolor paper today. Technique number 1, the indirect method. For this technique, start by scribbling your marker color onto a blending palette. You can instead use some kind of laminated surface if you don't have a blending palette. Now we've created a watercolor palette of our own. So we just dip our paintbrush in water, pick up our color from the palette and paint it onto our paper. If you add more water, you will get a watery look. If you have less water on your paintbrush, the color remains more intense. I like to mix colors on the paper, add some pink and then drop in some yellow color, and let the color blend and mix on the paper by themselves. I repeat that here with the greens for the leaves as well. This method is called indirect because we never bring the marker directly to the paper at all. And these Tombow colors are bright and vibrant, and they look beautiful with the water on the paper. Technique number 2, the direct method. For this one, we bring the marker to the paper and add a tiny bit onto the paper itself. Then quickly spread that color to form a petal shape using the wet paintbrush. Some papers work better for this technique than the others. I found that this Arches paper that I'm using today, it tended to hold the color where we applied it on the paper. So in that case, you want to make sure that you apply the marker to the paper in areas that would be naturally darker in the flower, like the shadows, at the base of each petal maybe, or the center of a flower where it tends to be darker. Again, this is something that works differently on different kinds of watercolor papers. I personally feel the color spreads much better on the Canson watercolor papers, but I will leave more info about that in the blog post and give a review of it as well. You can try mixing 2 colors to create a new color directly on the paper too. Technique number 3, the layer method. We start this just like the indirect method. Just color in all of the flowers and leaves with a single color. Don't drop in a darker shade or anything. And then we let it dry. So you'll give it a 5-10 minute break and then come back and add more details on top with a darker color. So basically we're just layering color here. Something to keep in mind is if you work any area too much and keep adding color on top of color, you can end up with a muddy color. This is because the color beneath can react to the water once more and kind of become liquid. You don't want to go and add like a green on top of a pink. That would not work. This technique works only if you add a green on top of a green or a darker pink on top of a lighter pink. As you can see, this technique gives a different look itself. Please like this video, share it with someone you know who would find it useful. If you're looking to find the exact color numbers of the Tombow Dual Brush pens I used, take a screenshot here. I will leave info about all the supplies I've used in my blog post, and I will link that below as well. Happy crafting, friends!